Hello and welcome to Tell Me Football, a collection of football stories. Today we're going to show you 5 football players who almost died. Being a football player comes with a risk, whether it's on or off pitch. Many footballers have experienced dangerous incidents and nearly died. But did you know that the top football players who are well known also were among them? Some of them experienced horrific events, both on and off pitch. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Who doesn't know Cristiano Ronaldo? Widely regarded as one of the greatest football players of all time, he has won 5 Ballon d'Or awards and a total of 32 trophies in his career. But that doesn't mean his life was flowing smoothly. Besides going through hardship while working his way up, he once got into an accident that nearly cost his life. On 8th January 2009, when CR7 was still at Manchester United before joining Real Madrid, he crashed his Ferrari into a roadside barrier in a tunnel on the A538 Wilmslow Road, near the Manchester airport. He was on his way to a train with the Manchester United team. The car was badly damaged, as you can see in this viral photo, with one of the front wheels sheared off and thrown over 100 meters away. Fortunately, Cristiano Ronaldo was not injured and was able to get out of the car by himself, and later even went on to train that morning. Witnesses said that he got out of the car and stood beside the wreckage, apparently not injured in the accident at all. One said that he got there just after the accident happened and saw the state of the car. It was amazing how CR7 got out of it without a scratch. However, after the accident happened, people on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media were claiming that Cristiano Ronaldo suddenly had died in a tragic car accident, with photos of the car and his funeral procession. Those people who created the fake news even used photos of other funerals. Though these social media posts and videos have been circulating around, there was no legitimate media report on Cristiano Ronaldo's death. CR7 is one of the world's best footballers and a mega celebrity. Of course his death would have been covered extensively by the media across the globe. Why should people believe random Facebook or YouTube videos that spread the fake news? It was the second leg match between Barcelona and Juventus in the UEFA Champions League 2016 and 17 quarter-final. Juventus held the upper hand of the match as they silenced Barcelona the first leg at Turin with a 3-0 score. Paulo Dybala scored twice in that game to take the lead, and Chiellini finally secured the win with his heading in the 55th minute. Of course, Barcelona was desperate to win the match to go through the semi-finals. In the round of 16, Barcelona dispatched Paris Saint-Germain after winning with a fantastic and barely believable comeback. They destroyed PSG with a 6-1 score, and Barcelona became the first side in UEFA Champions League history to qualify for the next round by overhauling a first-leg deficit of 4 goals. With the result of their prior comeback, surely a 3-goals deficit wouldn't be a big deal, but the reality wasn't as easy as it seemed. Juventus put on a masterclass of defensive football with some decent counter-attacking to keep Barcelona at bay for 90 minutes at the Camp Nou. They finally held Barcelona with a 0-0 draw and advanced to the semi-final. Besides the defensive play of Juventus, there was a horrifying moment that highlighted one of the greatest footballers ever, Lionel Messi. Messi had a collision with Miralem Pjanic in the first half when they were contesting for the ball, and the collision had Messi landed face first into the turf. The game threatened to spill out of control after that incident, as Barcelona was also desperate to score goals to turn the tables. As the footage of the incident shows, it certainly could have been nasty. Messi did, however, manage to get back to his feet and continue the game. The effects of this incident on his face were clearly shown, but somehow Messi managed to handle the pain and acted like it was nothing. Medical professionals said if Lionel Messi had moved 2.7 millimeters towards his neck when he fell, his career would have been over, and the worst thing is, he could have died. Messi was very lucky in this incident, but so unlucky with the result of the match. Nevertheless, we were all thankful as Messi's condition was okay. Just imagine all the amazing moments we would have missed out if the incident Messi had at that time had gone wrong. Being a footballer means being in the spotlight, because every time they play, the match is aired and people in the world can watch and see them. Especially if you're a great footballer, not being famous is not an option. And when you're famous, people will know you, not only the good ones, but also the bad ones. In this case, it happened to Di Maria. Di Maria's house got attacked by robbers. Even his and his family's lives were threatened by it. What's worse is, this was not the first incident like this that happened to him. The first one is when Di Maria was still at Manchester United back in 2015. Angel Di Maria was the reported target of a terrifying raid on his home just a few hours after Manchester United's 3-1 victory over Leicester City. 3 armed figures used the metal poles to break through patio doors as the Argentine winger reportedly ate dinner with his wife Jorgelina Cardoso and his daughter Mia at his Cheshire mansion. Luckily, despite smashing the windows of the mansion, they left empty-handed because an alarm was triggered, and finally they fled the scene. Di Maria, his wife, and their daughter were quickly whisked away from the house by United's security team and taken to a nearby hotel. A source told that Di Maria and his family were very shaken up, as everyone would be. The second incident occurred when he was playing his game with Paris Saint-Germain against Nantes in 2021. Di Maria was suddenly subbed off during the game, with the manager Mauricio Pochettino explaining the situation to his player while he led him down the tunnel. So what happened? PSG sporting director Leonardo was seen on his phone during the second half, and after a brief discussion with Pochettino, Di Maria was taken off and replaced by Leandro Paredes. It is said that Di Maria's family was held hostage during the break-in, and a source within the club said the situation in Di Maria's home turned violent. Police said that Di Maria's wife and his children were there, but that there was no face-to-face confrontation with the burglars. Di Maria's wife, Jorgelina Cardoso, was said to be extremely shocked because of the incident. The robbers reportedly have taken hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of goods. And it didn't stop there, because the incident happened again when he moved to Turin as he was transferred to Juventus. Some burglars broke into Di Maria's home, with him now present along with his family as well as a teammate. This incident surely brought back painful memories for the former PSG and Manchester United player. The gang managed to break in, but were chased away by a passing police car, and one of them was arrested while trying to flee. There are even some reports that gunfire was heard during the chase. All we know is that right now, Di Maria and his family are safe and sound, and let's just hope it will stay that way. All the best for him. We all know Neymar Jr., a Brazilian professional footballer with a prominent skill and technique who right now plays as a forward at Paris Saint-Germain and Brazil national team. But we nearly wouldn't have seen him showing his performance on pitch because of the accident that he had when he was a kid. Neymar nearly didn't make it beyond 4 months old when his dad, Neymar Sr., thought his newborn baby had died in a near-fatal car crash. The family were on their way to visit their relatives when they were hit by a car on a steep mountain road. His father was with his mother on the front seat, and Neymar Jr. was in the baby chair on the back. Neymar Sr. said that going down the mountain on a rainy day was always dangerous. A car came towards him and he tried to swerve, but it hit him on his dorside. His left leg even landed on top of the other and dislocated his hip bone. He was desperate and said to his wife that he was dying, but the worst fear that he had beyond the pain was where his son was after the accident. Neymar Jr.'s father said that they couldn't find Neymar. They thought that he had been thrown out of the car because of the impact of the accident and had lost his son. Neymar Sr. clearly remembered that he was in a state of pain and despair and even prayed to God to take him instead of his son. The car stopped on a cliff and they were just above a stream. Nadine, Neymar's mother, had to climb out of the car through the back window, but they didn't know where Neymar was. Finally, the people who came to rescue them found Neymar Jr. under the backseat of the car. Neymar was covered in blood and they immediately took him to the hospital. All the blood was coming from a cut on his forehead made by a shard of glass. Thankfully, the family all recovered from the accident, and as we can see now, Neymar is playing with Paris Saint-Germain along with his best friend, Lionel Messi. THIAGO Silva, a Brazilian professional footballer who plays as center back and now plays at Chelsea, is one of the greatest defenders, and we all know him from his defensive prowess and his leadership. But way back in 2005, Silva was diagnosed with the bacterial infection while he was at Dinamo Moscow. Silva was signed by Dinamo from Porto in January 2005, but club doctors were surprised that he was getting tired so quickly. Silva became very ill and suffered with symptoms including a high temperature, coughing fits, and severe sweating. So he was sent to the hospital where doctors conducted tests to determine what was wrong with him. The doctors were stunned to learn that Silva was suffering from tuberculosis and had been for 6 months prior to the discovery. They told him he was just 2 weeks away from death and was extremely lucky the disease was caught when it was. He was hospitalized for 6 months while the Russian doctors treated him for the condition. During the treatment, the doctors even advised that he need to have a part of his right lung cut out to survive because the tuberculosis was so advanced. That would have meant that he would have to quit football, but his mother Angela and his wife Isabel stepped in and advised against the surgery. His wife told the doctors that no one would open her husband up and end his dream. She said that she was not a doctor, but no one believed Silva should go through with the surgery. During those dark times, Silva thought about retiring, and it was the second time in his life he considered quitting the game. There was an occasion when he went to Flamengo for a trial, but they said that he was no better than any other players that they had, so he felt like no one wanted him as a football player. But after talks with his mother, Silva finally regained his motivation and changed his mind and looked for another club. Finally, in early September of that year, THIAGO Silva was discharged from the hospital after 6 months of fighting for his life. 4 days later, he arrived back in Portugal to start a new course of treatment. It would take another 3 months and he finally got the news that he was longing to hear for a long time. He could return to football. THIAGO Silva cried in tears of joy. Who would have thought that the great defender like THIAGO Silva nearly died because of a disease and put an end on his career before it even all started? So these were some of the footballers who almost died before even becoming widely known. Which one were you surprised by the most? Do let us know in the comments as we'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed the video, drop us a like and subscribe to TellMeFootball for more exciting football stories on your feed.